Hello, friends. Welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. I am your host, Tom Downey, back with one of my favorite segments on the show, my Cowboys Mailbag. All questions, by the way, coming from our new YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. All right, first up from Wraith K. Hope I said that right. Will Kris Richard become our defensive coordinator if Rod Marinelli retires after the season? Look, I think in reality, yes. And look, you've probably noticed this all year long. We put Kris Richard as the DC listed. Now, that's only a half-truth. His title is passing game coordinator and DB's coach. But the reality is, since he calls the plays, that makes him the defensive coordinator. So it'd be a title promotion, not necessarily a role promotion. But yes, I do think as long as Kris Richard does not get a head coaching job, he will be back as the defensive coordinator in title and possibly as well the assistant head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, folks, as I mentioned, all these mailbag questions coming to you from our Cowboys Report YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Go subscribe if you haven't already hit that button. There's news, rumors, highlights, and fan-led content like this on that channel. All right, next up from Andrew Doe, or Do. I think it's Do, right? Or is it Doe? Probably Do. Says, could Todd Bowles or Vance Joseph be a good DC candidate if Kris Richard leaves? Says they have good defensive resumes, which is true. So Todd Bowles, I'll start with him here. Of course, both were fired. Todd Bowles runs a very different scheme. He runs a 3-4 scheme. I don't want that to make that change. The defense works really well right now. I'd like to find someone that if you do lose Richard and Marinelli, I don't want to have someone come in that's totally different and totally changes everything. Vance Joseph could make some more sense as an option. I'd also throw out someone like Jerome Henderson, who was with the Falcons the past couple of years as the passing game coordinator, and the Cowboys loved him when he was their defensive backs coach. So I think Joseph's an option potentially. I don't see Todd Bowles being much of one, though. All right, from Isaiah Rodriguez says, if Kris Richard is leaving, ? If he does the door close for Earl Thomas? No, it does not. Now, the Cowboys are going to make a run at Earl Thomas in free agency. The Cowboys love Thomas regardless of their connection and their ties there and having Kris Richard. But in the end, Earl Thomas's #1 priority is to get paid. I don't think he's going to take a hometown discount to come back to Dallas and play for the Dallas Cowboys. I think other teams could offer more. So I am on board with the idea of making a run at Earl Thomas, although I know some of you guys aren't. So should the Cowboys make a run to sign Earl Thomas, type Y for yes, type N for no. I know you guys love Xavier Woods, and for good reason, he's really up to this play the past 2 months or so, I'd say. But why not both? I think the option of having both guys there is fun. And the Cowboys need more playmakers in the secondary. I like Xavier Woods, but he's not the ball hawk that Earl Thomas is. If you want to go all in on a one-year run here next year for the Cowboys to make a Super Bowl run, maybe you bring in Earl Thomas to help that out. All right, Cesar Garcia says, what are our chances of beating the Seahawks? I think pretty decent. I think, look, the Seahawks at the Cowboys this week, Saturday night. The Cowboys are now favored by 2. If you watch this on Tuesday, we mentioned the spread had dropped to 1.5, opened at 3, moved to 1.5 in favor of the Cowboys, and is now back up to a full 2-point spread. Yes, Seattle beat the Cowboys in Week 3. Both of these teams are very different right now. Frankly, both of them are different for the better. Both of them have solid defenses, solid offenses. Well, maybe not so much the offense of the Cowboys because of the red zone issues. But the Cowboys have the home field advantage. They are 7-1 at home this year. That's a big thing for me. I got the Cowboys winning 24-20. But let me know your score. Predict in the comments section. And then DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. If you are the first one to get it right, I'll send you guys $25. No one's hitting quite some time because the scores are actually very, very tough to predict. And folks, today's show was brought to you by BetDSI. The spreads you saw were from BetDSI. If you want to be like me, go win some money on there. Chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120. Then sign up and deposit. And then DM us on Twitter at ChatSports. Once you do that, we'll get you guys hooked up with a Cowboys jersey. So again, promo code Cowboys120 over at chatsports.com/bet. And then DM us on Twitter at ChatSports. We'll get you guys hooked up with a Cowboys jersey. All right, next up from Roman Gutierrez says, will David Irving play versus the Seahawks? No, David Irving is not going to be able to play against the Seattle Seahawks. He's still not close to returning. And, by the way, as we mentioned on Tuesday's show, he's not at the facility. He's not been in meetings. He's not been at practice. He's not been getting his rehab done properly. He's just not showing up and not putting in the effort the Cowboys need to see. That's not a good sign. The Cowboys are still holding out hope for a return, but there has been a growing buzz about putting him on IR and just saying, you know what, we're done with it. But Dallas, they know what David Irving brings when he's actually on the field. They're holding out hope that maybe, just maybe, he can make it back at some point during the playoff run and provide a big, impactful boost for that defensive line. All right, Samoa versus everybody says, who will be gone next year player-wise? Obviously, several different options here. Some lesser guys that none of you really care about. But there are some notable names that I think could be on their way out this offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we'll break down 5 notable players here. Cole Beasley, he's one of them. David Irving, there's an option. Allen Hurns, Sean Lee, Terrance Williams. Now, Irving and Beasley, those 2 guys are free agents. And I want to bring back Cole Beasley. He might be too expensive. I'd love to see David Irving back if he was actually on the field, but he's never on the field, so I'm done with David Irving. I just don't have the patience anymore. Terrance Williams, Allen Hurns, those guys are likely cap cuts. I have a tough time seeing them returning to the Cowboys. And Sean Lee, I will always love him, but I think his time is just about up with the Cowboys. So those are 5 of the notable players who could be gone this offseason. Obviously, not all of them. We'll break down more once we get into the actual offseason. All right, Joel Correa says, will Dabo Swinney be the coach of the Cowboys next season? I'd love it, but the answer is no. Dabo is a fantastic head coach. He would be a home run hire by any NFL team. I love him. But I don't see him leaving a fantastic gig at Clemson. He's getting paid plenty of money. He is adored by that entire university and the fans. They love Dabo. Why would he turn away this very similar amount of money, have more success at Clemson competing for national titles every single year, have maybe the best job security in the entire nation? Is that accurate to say about Dabo? Maybe a guy like Matt Campbell too, but Dabo's not leaving Clemson for the Cowboys. Even though I love it, I have a tough time seeing it actually go down. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 when you sign up and deposit, and then DM us on Twitter @ChatSports, and we'll get you guys hooked up with an NFL jersey. Very few left. We'll keep the deal alive until we're fully out, which I think is going to come in the very near future potentially. But chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120, then DM us on Twitter @ChatSports, and we'll get you guys hooked up with a jersey. All right, Estevan Sierra says, would it be smart to keep Garrett head coach, pay Richard more, and hire Dirk Koetter as the OC? Richard and Garrett, I am okay with, provided they don't collapse this week. I'd love to pay more for Kris Richard. I think Jerry Jones will. The issue comes with Dirk Koetter. Fired this year by the Bucs, I'll be honest, I don't think he's that good. I don't think Dirk Koetter's that good of a play caller or coach. I really, truly don't. And I know he's had some success, but the Falcons had more success with Kyle Shanahan, obviously. The Bucs had more success with Todd Monken. So give me Monken instead. He's had NFL head coaching interviews. I would so much rather hire Todd Monken as my OC than to bring in Dirk Koetter, who I just don't think he's very good. So who do you guys want as the OC next year? Let me know in the comment section. If and when Linehan gets fired, don't worry. We'll have an in-depth look at some potential candidates to replace Linehan for you guys. That much I promise. Let me know in the comment section. All right, Rhett Tucker says, should the Cowboys get a veteran quarterback in free agency to mentor Dak and be a decent backup? I love the idea. I really do love the idea of bringing in a veteran backup quarterback. And that's not the right player card, so we'll come back to that one later. But I love the idea of getting in a veteran backup quarterback here because you need it. You need to find someone to bring in and help mentor Dak and be a better backup than I think that Cooper Rush is. So we'll take a look here at some of the options in the current depth chart right now. Dak's your #1, Rush is your #2, White's your #3. White couldn't even get on the field this year. That's not a good sign for him long term. Cooper Rush, he's not it. The problem is the free agent backup crop isn't very good. You've got Josh McCown, you've got Ryan Fitzpatrick, you've got RG3, you got Matt Schaub, you got Brock Osweiler. I don't love the idea of having those guys come in. I just don't think it's going to be good enough. So I'd love to get McCown. I have a tough time seeing the Jets moving on from him, though, in the near future. All right, from Nick, is Dak the most clutch quarterback in the NFL? Now we'll bring up that Dak card here. Now, the reality is that the numbers back this up, which is crazy to think about. Prescott, 14 game-winning drives the past 3 years. That is the most by any NFL quarterback since 2016. That is the most by any quarterback ever in their first 3 seasons. The reality is, Dak's clutch as heck. And if you guys want to hate on Dak, look, I get it. I know why so many people don't like him. There's some reasons to be concerned. But you have to at least acknowledge that when the game is on the line, Dak Prescott tends to step up and win games. That's a big deal for me. So yes, Dak is definitely among the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL because the numbers back that up. Dak's cool under pressure, and you can stay cool as well with a mizzen and main shirt. Sweat wicking technology keeps you cool, and they don't wrinkle either. These are the best damn dress shirts out there. The URL is comfortable.af, and that checks out because these shirts are indeed comfortable as F. All right, do it like 93, our last question of the day here. Dallas trading Terrance Williams for a draft pick. This was actually originally a fan rumor, but I didn't see it in time, so I put it in the mailbag. The issue is that it's just not going to happen because who wants Terrance Williams right now? No one. No one wants to take on an aging receiver coming off a foot injury that made absolutely zero impact this year. A $3.5 million base salary in 2019. Look, when I play Madden, the first thing I do is trade Terrance Williams away. That's not how the NFL actually works, though. The Cowboys are far more likely to cut him, make him a post-June 1st cut, save $3.5 million in salary. So I don't see Terrance Williams coming back, but I'll ask you, do you want the Cowboys to bring back T-Wheel? Type Y for yes, type N for no. As we saw really for quite some time this offseason, y'all wanted Terrance Williams gone. I wonder if if things have changed at all since the season ended. So look, I say no. Cut him loose, cut out Hearns as well, save the money, maybe draft somebody else, but Cooper and Gallup and maybe Cole Beasley, that's a really good front three there. You have other depth pieces like a guy like Cedric Wilson as well. Go find someone cheap in the draft that can do some stuff that Terrance Williams and Hearns can as well at a much cheaper cost. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.